Next News, breaking news.
Oh boy, my friends, the deep state is panicking tonight. The director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, just sent shockwaves through the entire swamp by referring to the so-called whistleblower behind the 2019 Trump impeachment for criminal prosecution. That's right. The entire sham that put our nation through hell may have been built on lies, and now the people behind it could be facing justice. Even MSNBC, Joy Reid, was forced to report the bombshell. After years of being told the complaint was credible, we're now learning critical information was allegedly hidden from the American people, hidden from President Trump. The question is, just how deep does this conspiracy go? Now think about what this means for you and your family and for this republic. Because for years, they told us Trump was guilty. They dragged this nation through an impeachment circus based on what we're now learning may have been knowingly false information. Your tax dollars, yes, those same tax dollars you all wrote checks for yesterday, that witch hunt funded it. Yep, your faith in government was weaponized against you. It's not just about politics, it's about whether unelected bureaucrats in the intelligence community can manufacture evidence, conspire with partisan politicians like Adam Schiff, and overturn your vote. If they can do it to a sitting president of the United States, what makes you think that they won't do it to you? D&I Gabbard put it perfectly when she said that these deep state tactics have been used time and time again to fundamentally undermine the foundational principles of our republic. You see, this is about the survival of our constitutional system, my friends. And now finally, there may just be some accountability. And speaking of fighting back against the establishment and securing America's future, I've got some breaking news that you need to hear about. You see, the White House just announced over $30 billion to secure America's critical mineral supply chain. And they named a specific Alaskan project as a key strategic asset for U.S. mineral independence. Now, I've been to the Bisla copper drilling site in Canada myself. I've seen it with my own eyes. And what's happening in Alaska right now? It's bigger than most people actually realize. President Trump just unveiled Project Vault, a $12 billion strategic minerals reserve designed to stockpile essential resources and keep America strong. This is exactly the kind of America First policy we've all been waiting for. And Vizsla Copper is positioned right at the center of it. Now, write this down. You can find them trading in the United States under VCUFF and in Canada as VCU.V. It's also on the screen. Now, check the exclusive briefing. It's only for Next News viewers. You'll find it linked below because this could be one of the most important resource plays of the entire Trump era. We thank Vizsla Copper for supporting this show. Now let's get back to the explosive story about the deep state finally facing consequences. I'm going to tell you exactly what the media does not want you connecting. CIA Director John Ratcliffe, he's gone on record saying that Adam Schiff, the same guy who ran the impeachment circus, tried to overthrow the government. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And now we have evidence that the so-called whistleblower, Eric Ciaramella, allegedly submitted false information and had no direct knowledge of the Trump-Zelensky conversations. President Trump himself, outside the Oval Office, just said that he feels vindicated. Let's take a look at how people are reacting to this bombshell. And we'll start with Joy Reid over at MS Now. That's what they've rebranded it because they're so horrible. And of course, Joy Reid's own rebrand. No longer wearing her famous Trump wig, being forced to report this news. How glorious is this?
Just moments ago, MS Now has just confirmed Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard referred the whistleblower whose complaint led to the first impeachment of President Trump and the Inspector General who deemed their complaint credible for possible criminal prosecution by the Trump Justice Department. The move comes days after Gabbard released documents alleging a conspiracy behind Trump's first impeachment.
You know what's so beautiful about that? Joy Reid's not spewing her typical venom. I almost didn't recognize her at first. And now she's being forced to just read straight news. News that inside she knows she hates. And she's just burning up with every single scroll of that teleprompter in front of her. I know it. And it's actually glorious to watch. Tulsi Gabbard's push for criminal referrals has the deep state on high alert. Now let's go to President Trump outside of the Oval Office with reaction.
Ukraine impeachment documents that were just declassified show that Eric Ciaramella not only submitted false information, but that he had no direct knowledge of the alleged conversation. It was all hearsay. Do you feel vindicated by those?
Yeah, I do. They're a bunch of crooked people. You're talking about with respect to all of the things that they put against me? Yeah. Well, it's come out that in so many different ways. Thank you very much for that question. I appreciate it. But in so many different ways, the election was rigged. The 2020 election was rigged. We found that out. What you just said is just a piece of that. It's a big piece, but minor, relatively speaking, compared to what they did. They cheated on the election. They cheated on the vote. They cheated in every way possible, and it's the only way we got an incompetent man to be a president. And he was an incompetent man. Many of the things that we're talking about, even including this would have been settled a long time ago, not now. And it should have been settled by other presidents. But the election was a rigged election. We can't let that happen to our country.
It's concealment of exculpatory information. What should happen?
Well, it's a very serious charge against them and the Democrats. They cheat. They can't get elected with their policy. So their policy is no good. They want to have, open borders. They want to have men playing in women's sport. Do you think that men should play in women's sports?
I really don't have an opinion on that.
You don't? I'll bet you do.
No, I'm here about no tax on tips.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
go ahead, please.
Okay. Just hearing the president make those remarks outside the Oval Office, it's like I'm thrown back to all the reporting we did, tracking every single moment, and the reporter asked, does he feel vindicated? And he said, yes, he does. I mean, we still have to get the convictions. We have to see the perp walks, of course, to feel the full vindication. But you and I, we lived through this moment that is now coming to light. We knew what was happening in the background, but now we have the proof. Trump's words paint a picture of corruption and deceit. And now we have this from the DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, dropping the hammer, sending criminal referrals to the DOJ against the dirty whistleblower, Gunter Eagleman writes, who lied his ass off and helped ignite the entire fake 2019 Trump impeachment scam. This is the graphic she posted just a couple days ago. Deep state conspiracy to manufacture the 2019 impeachment scam. And we have President Trump on Air Force One here.
We have a lot of great candidates for this.
Do you still have confidence in Tulsi Gabbard, sir?
Yeah, sure I do. Sure. I mean, she's a little bit different in her thought process than me, but that doesn't make somebody not available to serve.
Is she on the same page as you?
I would say that I'm very strong in the fact that I don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Because if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it immediately. I think she's probably a little bit softer on that issue, but that's okay. Some people are. Most people aren't. Most people are saying thank you very much for doing what you did. They are decimated right now. They're going to give up nuclear weapons. They're going to give us the nuclear dust. They're going to do everything that we want to do. And you know what? They're going to go on and maybe have a great country again.
I mean, President Trump there clearly still has his confidence in Tulsi Gabbard and her fight against the deep state, and, of course, his fight against Iran. Now, staying with Gabbard's fight against the deep state, she lays bare the deceit spun by intelligence insiders. Here she is with News Nation. It's always been the right time to expose the truth. Here she is, Tulsi Gabbard.
It is always the right time to expose the truth to the American people about the deep state tactics that have been used time and time again, fundamentally to undermine the foundational principles of our republic, and in so many cases to undermine the decisions that the American people make when they cast their votes in our elections to decide who they want to lead our country. And so the documents that we released really pointed to the fact that the 2019 impeachment occurred because there were members of the intelligence community working directly with House Democrats, specifically Adam Schiff, who's on the House Intelligence Committee at the time, concocting this narrative, weaponizing the whistleblower process, lying and abusing their power, all to create this manufactured basis that Nancy Pelosi then used to drive this impeachment against Donald Trump in 2019. I'll hit the high points on these documents. There are details and hundreds of pages of transcripts that we released in conjunction with House Intel Chairman Rick Crawford. But the bottom line is this. Number one, the whistleblower, so-called whistleblower who came forward, presented no evidence and no first-hand knowledge. This is a person who had heard about a conversation that President Trump had with Zelensky, then went straight to Adam Schiff on the House Intelligence Committee. And this is where they came up with this false narrative. And this so-called whistleblower then went and filed a complaint with the intelligence community Inspector General. The other witness, so-called witness to this, is somebody who also had zero firsthand knowledge and presented zero evidence. Someone who was also a co-author of the 2017 Russia hoax intelligence community assessment that President Obama had ordered be created in conjunction with John Brennan and James Clapper at the time. Again, no firsthand knowledge or evidence. And someone who said that even after reading the transcript, he didn't really see the issue there until the whistleblower had explained it to him. And lastly, the Inspector General himself. And this is really such a violation of public trust and the responsibility that we expect all of our inspectors generals to have, in that he didn't conduct a full investigation. He didn't even ask to see the transcript of the phone call between President Trump and Zelensky. And he admitted to Congress that he did not have any evidence that he was relying on. He had made a criminal referral to the Department of Justice based on this so-called whistleblower's complaint. Department of Justice came back and said there's nothing here. This Inspector General then went to Congress anyway and presented to them. All of this coming down to the bottom line of which this was a partisan political attempt, once again, to undermine the will of the American people who elected Donald Trump as President of the United States.
God. You know, the fact that we have to go back and revisit this, it's like all that trauma just keeps coming back. All the damage that they did to this nation. She posts, newly declassified records expose how deep state actors within the intelligence community concocted a false narrative that Congress used to usurp the will of the American people and impeach a duly elected president, real Donald Trump in 2019. Today we revealed the truth. DNI Tulsi Gabbard. And, of course, the continued assaults on President Trump, they move forward. As Gabbard is exposing the deep state corruption, a Democrat boldly suggests removing Trump from office. Eliminate President Trump. Those are the words that are used.
Because if we wanted to eliminate abuse and fraud, we'd eliminate the President of the United States from the office right now and the rest of the sycophants in his administration that are allowing him to do so many illegal things. So,
eliminate, huh? By what means? I mean, we've already seen all the different attempts to eliminate him. And we don't forget what happened in Pennsylvania, in Butler either. Shifting from Democrats' rhetoric to Adam Schiff's actions. Here it is, the Director of Central Intelligence, John Ratcliffe, when he was still a representative in Congress. Regardless of that fact, these are words he's stated. These are words that he believes, and now he's in a position to make action happen with Tulsi Gabbard. Listen carefully.
Well, again, think about it this way, Bill. Yesterday, Democrats passed a resolution to give Chairman Schiff the most authority in the impeachment process moving forward. Adam Schiff is someone who has tried to impeach the president not once, not twice, but now 3 times. The first time he accused the president of treason and said he had evidence to support collusion with Russia. That wasn't true. Then he said we should impeach the president because he obstructed justice and promised Bob Mueller would breathe life into that until Bob Mueller admitted that his obstruction analysis was under a legal standard and burden of proof that didn't exist. So now we're on to fake impeachment effort number 3, surrounded by a whistleblower who first met with, yeah, that's right, the staff of Chairman Schiff. The details of that haven't been released. Chairman Schiff won't release the Inspector General's sworn testimony, which will confirm the contacts between Chairman Schiff and the whistleblower. It's like this, Bill. If we had a trial, the person who planted fake evidence shouldn't be the one ruling on the admission.
Now the chickens are coming home to roost. Adam Schiff posting just hours ago, nothing says the interest of justice like the DOJ moving to dismiss cases against white nationalist leaders who led attacks on police officers in an effort to overturn a free and fair election. Such a pitiful chapter in the history of the Department of Justice. Sure thing, Adam. And speaking of removing presidents, Joe Biden decided to show up just recently. Racist Joe pulls a random black guy out of the crowd in Syracuse and declared he looked like Barack Obama.
I turn around to one guy and say, Barack, what are you doing? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. I feel like he should be standing on the right and I should be standing on the left. Hey, you done this look at Barack? Anyway, as they say, you done good, fella.
Well, you know, I tried.
As they say, you done good, fella. Just like a racist Democrat would say. So here's the truth the establishment is terrified that you will understand. You see, it was never about Ukraine. It was never about a phone call. It was a coordinated operation between intelligence community operatives and House Democrats, specifically Adam Schiff, to manufacture a basis for impeachment. D&I Gabbard released hundreds of pages proving that they weaponized the whistleblower process. They lied, and they abused their power. And when President Trump says they cheated in every way possible, he's not exaggerating. The 2019 impeachment was built on a foundation of sand, and now that foundation is getting washed away. The deep state thought they were untouchable. Well, guess what? They thought wrong. See, this is what accountability looks like under the Trump administration. For years, they told us that we were conspiracy theorists. They called us crazy for questioning the narrative. Now the truth's being documented. It's being referred for criminal prosecution and exposed for the world to see. Meanwhile, Democrats are so desperate that one of their own just called for eliminating the president from office. That's how scared they are. So share this video with everybody that you know. They need to see what's happening in Washington. And since you're here, this is just for you. Text raw feed to 844-840-4963. Hundreds of patriots are joining this exclusive insider list because we can't rely on notifications that never arrive and algorithms that are weighted against you and me. So make sure you maintain that direct connection with me. I will send you a text message every night to keep you informed, keep you in the loop, especially when news breaks. So text raw feed to 844-840-4963. Now I'll ask you this question, and you can drop a comment below. Do you think the deep state operatives behind the 2019 impeachment should face prosecution? Yes or no? And if you want to support independent journalism that tells the truth, check out the Next News merch shelf below this video. Tap subscribe, hit the notification bell, and remember, stay informed and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this. Share this now.